Bachelor of Computer Application BCA, Master of Social Work MSW, Fashion Design, Hotel Management, Mass Communication. Top exams. Gmail. Traditional retail sector unaffected from growth of e-commerce. Paul India. Toggle navigation. Representative image. Pexels.com. Traditional retail. New Delhi, India, August 27. ANI amid charges of predatory pricing and negatively impacting offline retail shops in India by big commerce giants. A recent study by Paul India says the contrary. The e-commerce boom that took place since 2020 has not impacted the traditional retail sector, says the study of Paul India Foundation, PIF, released last week. According to the report, less than 20% of the offline vendors reported a physical store closure in their neighborhood since 2020. Only 6% of offline vendors think that shifting consumer behavior towards online shopping has caused the brick-and-mortar stores to close. E-commerce, currently at 7.8% of India's trade, is rather positively impacting employment generation and consumer interests. It further noted that around 8% of offline vendors attribute physical store closures to the growth of large organized retail. On the negative impact of e-commerce on their overall business, 86% of offline vendors disagreed with the notion that e-commerce growth negatively affects the employment they generate. Interestingly, about 14.4% of vendors are now prioritizing packaging and delivery skills in their employees, which has driven local shops to hire staff for delivery services, enabling traditional mom-and-pop stores to adapt to the evolving market. Contrary to the prevalent notion, the report refutes the popular notion that e-commerce has adversely impacted the traditional physical retail sector, adding that e-commerce remains relatively underpenetrated in India, and the traditional, brick-and-mortar segment continues to thrive. It further stated that around 70% of offline vendors have adopted some form of technology and 54% adopted technology to enable cashless and digital payments, followed by the use of software like Logic ERP, Tally, etc. by 22% of these vendors. About 1/4 of offline vendors plan to expand by either buying a new store, expanding or renovating their existing store, diversifying their product range, adopting more technology, or listing on e-commerce platforms, it observed. PIF further said that e-commerce is expanding into newer markets like Tier 3 cities, instead of replacing physical markets. Underscoring the impact of integrating e-commerce on the physical store vendors, the report observed that about 71% of Tier 3 city vendors have seen an increase in sales since the time they shifted to online sales. E-commerce constitutes a small portion of the retail sector, with a share of 7.8% of the total retail sales in 2022, and growing at a CAGR of 27% between 2018 and 2030. Currently, India's e-commerce market share of 7.8% is much smaller than 46% in China and 16% in the United States. Tags. Commerce. Retail sector. Online shopping. Related news. Danish Butra launches new hair masters luxury salon franchise in